to the next level.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Tiffany Parr, Editor-in-Chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. Today, we have a special session with our Authors Network Spotlight. This is the Authors Network Spotlight on the Unsnapped Anthology Men's Edition, and we have some of the amazing authors here to share a little bit about their chapter and about this amazing book that is launching on June 19th, which is this coming Thursday. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in these gentlemen. Hey, what's going on, Dr. Jeffrey?
Hey, Tiffany, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Hey, what's going on, Lauren Stokes?
How you doing, Miss Tiffany? How you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. Good to see you. And we've got Jeffrey. JL.
Everybody doing?
House. How you doing, man?
What up, though?
I am so excited to have y'all in the house today for this Unsnapped Anthology Men's Edition, which is launching right around the corner. I know you guys are as excited as I am. We had a little bit of delay in this, so, y'all, look, we ready. We are so ready. So I'm going to just go around the room real quickly. We are missing a couple of the authors, but that's okay because we're going to just share a little bit about this book and some of the chapters that are in it. So let's start with you, Dr. Jeffrey. Just introduce yourself and share a little bit about your chapter with the audience.
Well, so I am Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger, and I am a certified holistic coach today, really taking a finance-first approach to encompassing all personal well-being by embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world. And true wealth does not mean money. It's a combination, and I call it the perfect formula of creating a life to live in abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And my journey started soon, like probably about a year before I actually was introduced to Tiffany. So it's been a 4-year journey with her. But since 2018, that's when it officially started. And the title of my chapter is From Chaos to Calm, A Journey of Transformation. And I've really been through multiple roller coaster rides, if you will, in this journey. And I'm going to break it down into 3 key points for people to kind of get a sense of where I'm coming from. But initially really started with that brink to despair of an RX-free transformation because I was battling decades of trauma, addiction, 2 suicide attempts, and a diabetes diagnosis. And since August of 2019, I have been pharmaceutical free. I lost 60 pounds. I reversed my type 2 diabetes, and I reduced stress, anxiety, and depression that was at a 10 plus for decades down to a level 1. The second one was unveiling the hidden truths of health, because during my journey, I really came to understand the true state of affairs when it comes to our medical and food systems that are out there today. We live in a world of corrupt and broken systems, and they don't get to the root cause. They're putting Band-Aids over it. And one of the worst discoveries that I came across was that in the United States, there are over 10,000 chemical preservatives in our foods, which is why we have so many diseases out there today, because that's where disease starts, which is in the gut. And that's what I focus on was gut health, the microbiome, gut, brain, heart axis. And that is a system that is integral to your overall well-being. And then the third is really embracing discomfort, because it's about the key to lasting calm and resilience, because I personally for decades was a reactor. And I reacted to triggers, if you will. And I've learned to take a step back and evaluate. So there was a big difference that I had to learn with regards to those stressors. Rather than reacting, it brought me back to a point where, okay, I'm being hit with this stressor. What am I supposed to, why is this happening? What am I supposed to learn from it? What am I supposed to take away from it? And possibly what can I use to share with others down the road? So those are the three key main points that kind of address my chapter. And you'll have to go get the book and read the full chapter.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, Dr. Jeffrey. And y'all, this book, it's going from that brink of no return, like you're almost there, and there's a superpower within these gentlemen that just pulls them back and helps them do we're going to say, woo-saw. And I'm going to go to this next person here. So, Lawrence, please introduce yourself and share a little bit about your chapter as well.
I thank you, Tiffany. My name is Lawrence Stokes. I am an author. I've been on this journey about, I think, 3 years from the first anthology that I was a part of that spoke about grief. And the name of my chapter is called Wusa. It's remaining calm in the midst of chaos. And what that is in your life, or at least in mine, uh, I, first of all, you have to be aware of self. You have to have knowledge of self, which I'm very self-aware. And I'm afraid of my own anger because I've reached that point to where not only have I seen red, I've seen through the individual that I'm seeing red at. And that's scary. And the things that pull me back is that little voice that I believe we all have in our head. And all it takes really is a split second for that voice to you hear it. And it's that calm, hey, calm down, come back. It's almost like when, just as the Hulk is metamorphosized, it's that thing that brings you back. And I touched on two key points that were probably most I want to say most memorable, most scary in my life. And I spoke about those. And again, the only way to find out is to get the book. But I touched on, all facets of my life, at least, marriage, kids, work, environment, and the things that go on a daily basis that can trigger you, but you have to have that sense of calmness in you and like, okay, you it only takes a few seconds to assess the entire situation, and it may not be as bad as it may appear initially. And once you do that, you're able to bring yourself back down and kind of have I've always had the mentality, that look, ain't nobody gonna take me up back and whoop my ass, so I'm good. So it kind of keeps me, even keel. So, but I would encourage everyone to get the book, especially, men that have no control and want to read about those of us that do.
Yes.
Get the book and at least let them know that you're not on your journey alone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Lawrence. And you touched on it, like that moment, right? Like listening to that voice. And we touched on the Unsnapped Women's Edition. I talked about the power of the pause. Just being able to pause and take that deep breath before you speak, before you do something that is going to be detrimental to yourself, detrimental to the others around you. So I absolutely love it. And y'all are going to have to get this book so you guys can get these perspectives here on how to, have that woo-saw moment and how to just stay calm, cool, and collected. So, Jeffrey, we're going to go to you, Jeffrey Edwards.
Everybody doing? Jeffrey L. Edwards, author, musician, journalist, CEO and host of 3 JLE brand shows, sports show, JLE, Sports Line with JLE and Marte, a panel discussion show, Ground Floor, and the flagship Middle Ground with JL Lee, where I interview all amazing people in amazing career fields, helps my family purpose. That's how I met the awesome Tiffany right here.
Jeffrey.
And title of my chapter is When You're Going Through the Fire, Get Molded, Not Burned. And I had to figure out what to talk about. And Tupac was a mentor, helped me through a lot of stuff in high school. So I want you to feel my story. So it starts off with me turning 17 back in 96, and me and my mom having a conversation. And she let me know when I was born, I died for 5 minutes because the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck 3 times. And that had me like, okay, my dad died in 91. You telling my dad I'm Jesus up in the streets? What the world? So what I'm doing here? And from there, the journey takes me to my recent separation in 21 and how that impacted me and how your community can keep your mind focused when, as they say now, you want to crash out, go to the dark side. But if you got good people, they'll hold you up. And through that, you see all these titles now because I didn't know what my purpose was. It gave me time to think. And checking out this story, I believe it helped any man out there going through a storm. You'll realize while you're going through it, it can help you develop to something awesome.
Awesome. Very powerful. Very, very powerful. Y'all gonna have to just get this book. I'm telling you. Look, and the ladies out there too, this is for everyone. Okay, these books, these are companion books. You've got Unsnapped men's, Unsnapped women's, because there's a lot of different perspectives here, right? And that's why I chose to challenge, some of the men in my life to come and share their stories, because I know the differences. I'm a people watcher, and I can just see it. So I cannot wait for you guys' stories to come out on Thursday. It is going to be an ebook form, everybody. So it will be on Amazon ebook. Grab the ebook. That's going to actually help us to become that bestseller. We want #1 bestseller. We were #1 new release in anger management in the women's edition. So we are looking to do the same with the men as well, because these, again, are very, very powerful stories that are going to really help you shed some light on how to stay calm, cool, and collected in this chaotic and crazy world that we have today. So I know when writing things, it could be a roller coaster that we go through as authors and even as people, when you're having to revisit certain situations that maybe didn't want to revisit. I know I had to revisit a couple of situations in my life that I shared in the women's edition that, at first I didn't want to revisit that, but I said it's a must, because there are probably other people out there that are going through something very similar, if not the same. And they need to understand that there is an other side of things, and you can get there too. So Dr. Jeffrey, what has been maybe some challenges that you went through when either, writing this or even other, because you have a lot of different works out there as well. So let's talk about some challenges you've hit and over.
Yeah, so that's a really great question, Tiffany. I'm gonna, so my very first book, because was titled, and I was a contributing author, "It's Okay Not to Be Okay," and this was I did an interview with Kim LaMontagne, and she's survivor of alcohol and a lot of other things that are going on, and she's the one that reached out to me, and immediately I said no. And that was back in 2018, actually. So from that point up until this book here, it has gotten easier to share my story, because I was petrified. I mean, my family had no clue about the attempted suicides and the drug use back, in my younger years. They didn't know about those two things specifically until I was in my late 50s, early 60s. That was hidden. So that was a stressor, and to release that, it was like, oh my gosh. But writing this book here gave me and we talked about it in the beginning, because I also questioned coming on board with this, but I said to myself again, it's like Lawrence was saying, that little voice in your ear, and it's like, nope, get away. I can't listen to you. It's about men sharing their stories, because real men cry, real men feel, real men, we have those emotions, and we are told, don't cry, build a bridge, get over it. And that was my journey for most of my life, and everything was held in. So it was the idea of sharing with if I can send a message to somebody that reads my chapter and it improves their life, that's all that matters. Yeah, I'd love to have more, but if it changes one person, that's it. And that's the driving force now, because working with you, with the magazine for 4 years, getting out there, sharing my stories, because it's been an evolving story, as you are well aware. And anything that we can do to muffle the noise that's out there, and bring enlightenment, and bring value, and bring support to those that are looking for it, because you're not going to get it in the traditional systems. My doctor told me I had to be on meds for the rest of my life. That's it. You just accept it. I'm like, I don't want to accept that. I don't have to. We need to be the CEOs of our life, take control, and really get out there and understand, because they are not in your best interest. You have to be number one and take control, and then go out and find people like this platform here, who understand who you are, what you're doing, what you're sharing, and embrace that, and promote each other and share those stories.
Oh, I love that, Dr. Jeffrey. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lawrence, what about you?
For me, just the initial journey when it started, there was a post that I saw from a friend of mine that I was stationed with about 40 years ago. His wife had said, well, I'm looking for men to tell their stories about grief. And I saw the post, and I kind of hemmed it hard on it. I text back and said, oh, that sounds good. She said, we want to be a part of that. And initially, like Jeffrey said, I said no, because my story, I've always kept to myself. I kind of said bits and pieces of it to people who I thought would help them along their journey if they should, if I felt they needed help. But I'm just, I'll say the spirit just pushed me, said, okay, write your story. And so when I wrote my story initially about grief, it was the first time I had ever put it on paper. And in doing so, I had never in my life been so exhausted when I was done, when I wrote it. And from that point, I decided, well, that particular chapter only took the reader up to my 18th birthday. And so I said, well, if they wanted to know what happened to him after that, I wrote my autobiography after that. And then from that point, I met Marisa, and she's like, hey, you want to be a contributing writer? And so I'm like, sure. So I never considered myself an author. I even to this day I don't, but I have no problem telling my story, because I've always felt that if I can help someone get further along in life, great. Because it does me no good if I leave this earth today or tomorrow and kept my story within, because it doesn't help nobody.
That's great.
What keeps me even keel, and as I spoke earlier about being self-aware, but what keeps me even keel is that I've learned how to stretch my arms out, and anything outside of my fingertips, anything outside of my reach, if I can't put my hands on it, I can't change it. So I don't worry about it. I had to learn that, because I used to be that person that worried about a lot, and I gotta fix this, I gotta do this. Look, the good Lord gave us the ability to live, and whatever obstacles we come in contact with, there is the way to kind of solve it, or at least deal with it. But you have to have the presence of mind to do it. And at my worst were the times when I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I stopped doing drugs, although that was years ago, because I always felt that I needed a clear head. And that's me now. I need a clear head. So whenever a stressor does appear itself, just let me sit for a minute. Let me sit. Let me think about it. Let me formulate a plan,
Yeah.
and then I'll go from there. But this particular book, this particular story, because no one has ever known or has ever seen me get upset. Everyone's like, you're just so calm and easy going, laughing. Joe, I got jokes all day,
Yeah.
but they've never seen me at the time when I'm really plotting your demise if you piss me off. And that at one point was therapeutic for me. I'd sit there and I'd plot your death. I got an alibi, I got a way out, I got it all. And you would never, I'm sitting there talking to you and you don't know that I done planned your death, but we grow. And so,
Yeah, that's good.
so I, that's why I came with that story. Woosah, you gotta bring yourself back, especially when I was in the military,
Right.
I was in the Gulf War. I had a hit list of who I was going to take out in case I didn't make it home. So, you gotta bring yourself back. It was therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I touched on two of the stories that I did because there were the two that really really stood out for me, and it took me to that point.
Yeah.
Like yo man, this where it scares you so bad because you don't remember what happened. You don't remember how you got there, and
Mm-hmm.
that is scary. That's scary when you don't remember how you got there. You
Right.
you remember everything after the fact. After the I'll call it the debris field. You look back at the debris field. You like, whoa, all this happened, and you don't remember it. So I'm grateful that you've given me this opportunity to tell this part of my life, and I continue to share my story because I have, hey, if it helps you get anywhere further,
Yeah.
great. I'm with that because I look at myself as nothing more than a guidepost. I'm here to point the way to you, and once you pass me, if what I was able to share with you helps you, I did my job.
That's right. That's right. Ooh, I love that. I love that.
And Lawrence, you're a great writer.
Absolutely.
Period.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. So continue to write your stories, Lawrence, because they are fantastic. So again, y'all gonna have to get the book. So Jeffrey Edwards, share your thoughts on this. What were some challenges, some of your thoughts?
Um, I found myself for a minute saying like, what am I write about? I mean, I was a nerd in school. I ain't really been in the streets. Couldn't do that. Ain't no women in prison. I love women. So what can I bring to the table? And then I had to think about my first book I wrote. And I talked about how I got my degree. And I journeyed to that point with some quotes to uplift you. And that's the first time I started writing my story of because your father died when you're 12, the gangs and drug dealers think you the number one draft pick. But like I said, I love women. So what y'all talking about ain't with it. But in real life, my dad wanted to see me graduate in 96.
Mm-hmm.
I had a week where I attempted suicide. And God working where you are. And I love Tupac. So Me Against the World album, which talked about death very oddly. I would hear, put the knife down, don't slit your wrist, go play Me Against the World and calm down. So that, for the rest of that week, was the go-to to stop doing that or thinking about that. Then, as I've always been writing songs since I was in 8th grade, because Babyface was a mentor from afar, it's just like writing a song. The chord, you gotta get to the main point. So the verse and chorus will get you to what the story is about. So talk about your birthday at 17 and you learned you died and came back, and get to your separation and how that was the first time you felt raised because like, wow, I played by God's rules, doing everything right, and I get taught some bullshit. I should be out here. My dad was a pimp before he was a pastor. I should be like that because them dudes seem to be winning. But a friend of mine who's whole witness, who I used to always do Bible study with, just knew to call. Hey man, I was thinking about doing Bible study. I just started laughing, like, bro, and told him like, see, God was trying to keep on the right path, Jeff. So I had those thoughts. I was able to start formulating the story for this book because like, I didn't realize I had a story to tell because I wasn't in the streets. But you don't have to be to still have a story to tell to help others.
Right. Right. Absolutely. No, and we have so many stories, right? When you think about it, I mean, all the different things that we've gone through, all the various journeys, the jobs we've had, and maybe disliked, the various bosses, the bullying situations and experiences. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's just so much that we could share because we've overcome, so much. So I have to just say, everybody here is just, you guys are all just champions. So we do have somebody backstage. Before I bring her up, I just want to share just a little bit more about just Unsnapped, and what we're doing here it is a lot more than just a book. These are a lot more than just books. They are really a mission for us to spread that calm. Again, in this world, being able to give people the opportunity to just stop and, take that nice deep breath and be able to really just feel themselves, that energy level. I mean, I'm all about the energy. I mean, if you guys follow me, I'm all about energy. And it's just being able to, bring that energetic level down. And sometimes we have to do that with, other things like our smell, our senses, right? And where we're around. Sometimes it's music. I know for myself, calming music, I'm always listening to hand pans and listening to sound bowls and things like that because they are calming. We do have an individual here with us, Tiffany Easley, who has created a signature candle smell for both books, the men's and the women's edition. And I wanted her to share just a little bit about the candle and how we curated this, and just a little bit of the experience, because this is a reader's experience. This is to really take you from just turning the pages to really feeling the calm that these gentlemen felt in their situations, as well as the women that, what they felt when they got to that high point of emotion and were able to bring that calm back. So let me go ahead and bring Tiffany on in. Hey, hey, what's going on, Dr. Tiffany Easley? Welcome, welcome. So excited to have you.
Good day, gentlemen. I am so excited to be with you guys, to celebrate you. I know y'all are happy, but I'm happy. I'm happy for you guys because you're doing something that's important to me. As a woman, I love to hear men share their story because so many times as men, you're taught to be quiet. You're taught to not embrace the emotions, right? Definitely not crying. Um, you can express the anger, but you usually get penalized, right? So to be able to express your story of how not to go to that place, I'm so excited to read it. I literally feel like I'm on pins and needles. I'm like, oh, can we get this book out already? Can I read all these chapters? Can I get my signature, copy, the author signature copy, and support you in any way that I can? So as I was listening in to Dr. Jeffrey, to Lawrence, and to Jeffrey, I literally was like, I really got to get these books. Like, I can't wait because I know you're just giving a snippet because people need to buy your book, right? They need to buy the book. And I'm thinking about the fragrances that we created, and they're all inspired by areas in the world where you go to relax, number one. And one thing that we wanted to do for the men is to make it specific for men, right? We wanted a fragrance within the fragrances that was specific for men. So as I was searching, we were searching, I sent Tiff 9 fragrances, okay? And I was like, here, Tiff, Have a ball. And she immediately came back. She came back was like, I want this, I want this. And I was like, Tiff, I hear you, but trust me, you're gonna have a day and you're gonna be like, no, I want this, I want this, I want this. And let me tell you something. She never moved. She from the day that she decided on the blend, she never move. She just knew. And so I said, okay, I'll go in and I'll be the scientist and I'll blend this and we'll see. And I blended it and I was thinking, Tiff, you smelled sticks and this is and when I smelled the fragrance, I was like, oh, so I can only imagine what's gonna happen when people read your story. Because if you're like me as the author, when I wrote my Unsnapped, I actually went back to the moment when I was ready to snap out for a second. And I needed to be real. I needed to be real back in. So I lit uh, the test because I had smelled the tester for a week because I wanted to make sure that it did what I thought it was going to do. Because I'm very cautious in what I put in your hands as an author because you are a brand. You are a brand. This story will become a brand and it will put you on stages in a whole different area. And so I said, oh, I said, Tiff is on to something. So this fragrance, when I tell you, it's amazing. It's yours. And I can't wait to see what you do with it. And I want to thank you, Tiffany, for entrusting me with such a task because I don't take it lightly. I take it so seriously because this is their livelihood. This is their brand. This is what they're representing. And for me to curate that and to tell their story through fragrance, that's powerful because, I think about how difficult sometimes we've lived through so many situations that made us want to go in the red, literally. And I can only imagine as a man the expectation that society has put on you to go in the red and to choose not to. I don't know how you shoulder it. I can't imagine. I don't, I have no clue. I grew up with uncles and I grew up with grandfather. And let me tell you something. My grandfather was a big guy and my grandfather was a very strong man and my grandfather didn't play. Okay. So he kind of went from 1 to 10 in zero point 0.5 seconds. Okay. But because they expected him to do that, he had to learn how to become unsnapped. He had to learn to use that powerful voice, that powerful story, and the authority that he had as a man. Because here's the truth, you guys do have authority. There's nothing wrong with that. He had to learn how to use it in the unsnapped form of himself and still do what he was called to do. And it's no light work. So that's what I've done in this fragrance. And I cannot wait for you guys to smell it, to experience it, and to just take it with your brand and give it its own life in your world because that's what you're going to do. It's not about me. At that point, when it leaves me, it's your baby. You do what you do and you do it well because I'm telling you, just the snippet of your stories have literally gotten me on the edge of my seat. Like, okay, so okay, what's next? What's next? Because I want to know your story, and I want to be able to, from a fragrance perspective, help you with anything else that I can, and just support you in that particular area. So, congratulations! I'm excited, and know that I'm your cheerleader, the little short cheerleader from Dallas, Texas, because I'm a little short in my heart. I'm 6'2", but for real, I'm not. And I hope that I know you will be best-selling authors, and I'm going to cheer you on all the way from Dallas, Texas.
Yes, thank you, Tiff. Thank you, thank you. So,
Thank you.
so exciting, everybody. So, look, Thursday, you got to look for the ebook. And a couple weeks later, we're going to do the pre-sale on the hardbacks. So look for the hardbacks and then also look for the candles to come as well. The candles have already been curated. The scent is already there. We've already chosen the votive. all that good stuff. It's all signature. It's going to be awesome. So, gentlemen, one just last word. It can be a word of wisdom, encouragement. It could be, get the book, whatever you want. Dr. Jeffrey, we're going to start with you, and then we'll go you, Lawrence, and then we'll close out with you, Jeffrey Edwards. So go ahead.
Thanks, both Tiffany's. That's great. So my words of encouragement for today is that we are really in unprecedented times right now. And that I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that on Snap, the women's and the men's version is bringing some kind of an enlightenment to, to our readers. And, it's all, as I said earlier, I'm about embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world, where true wealth, again, is not about money. It's about modalities, different modalities out there that will take you to the next level, personally, professionally, both, and encourage you to be open and receptive to stepping into that uncomfortable zone when you kind of do that hesitation, because when you step into that uncomfortable zone, this is where growth happens. This is where innovation really, really thrives. And, Jeffrey Edwards or Lawrence's chapters, or my chapter or the women's chapters, one of those chapters could dramatically impact your life. And this is what I encourage people to do, is just to be a little bit more open, because I know that many people are scared, they're hesitant, they're restrictive, and we're trying to kind of lighten that up and release that stress from people, from not being scared, and stepping into that zone of welcoming new things. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jeffrey.
I say, well, thank you both, Tiffany's. And I take the approach that every morning, as I prepare myself for work, once I put my feet on the floor, I always ask God for blessing, let me make it home safely. But I put in my mind that my day's going to be good every day, and that's the attitude that I leave my home with. That's the attitude when I get to work. When someone says, I always greet people with, enjoy your day, and they'll say the same to me. And my reply is, I plan on it. With all certainty, I plan on it. And there's nothing that's going to take me away from the mindset that I plan on having a good day. And that's only because, again, as I stated earlier, if I can't put my hands on it, I can't change it. Anything outside of my reach, that's on them. And if it gets to that point, I'm also the type of person that will put my heels up against the wall and say, bring it. But I'm still going to have a good day. And I try to help people, as I've said to you, Tiffany, and you might share with the other Tiffany, I got candy. Come on in, come get some, because when you come in my office, I try to make people feel comfortable. I know how stressful a day can be. I know how stressful anybody's life could be. I don't know what they're going through, but if you can come in my presence and I can make you laugh, or at least take your mind off whatever it is,
right?
I'm your dude. So hopefully my story and reading it will let you know, yeah, I'm not perfect. I've reached that point. I've seen red. I've plotted the demise of many people, and I'm still able to overcome that, and still be able to share this with you. So if I can leave you with anything, I will tell you, blow that out, blow it out, and it's okay. And again, stretch your hands out as far as you can, and anything outside the reach of your fingertips. If you cannot put your hand on it, don't worry about it,
Yes.
and enjoy your day.
That's right. I love it. Love it. Thank you, Lawrence. Jeffrey.
Want to thank both of Tiffany's for everything y'all done to help this book become real. Three things. First, you are not alone, because you hear those voices tell you you're nothing, you're not loved. They're wrong. God loves you, your family loves you, and you're destined, and your people. you're destined to do something great. So once you get that out your head, you'll find your purpose and be awesome. That's why I'm writing a comedy movie, so people need to laugh.
That's right.
There's so much going on, and the crazy names I came up with going to make you laugh just from that. So whatever you're going through, when this movie is done, you're going to say, wow, okay, I can deal with tomorrow. And the third thing, my most recent book, Daily Daily Devotionals, out on Amazon, encouraging quotes for 365 days of the year. It was birthed in 2009 when I was custodian trying to finish my journey. And God started giving it to me. I would post them on social media. That led to that book. So if you need something to read once a day to keep you focused and encouraged, that book will help you. Just like Unsnap will change your life as well. And I appreciate all the authors that contributed.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Jeffrey. Man, I'm so grateful to all of you here. Y'all have just done just an amazing job. These stories are going to impact so many. So y'all get out there, get the book on Thursday. Look for it. First thing, when you turn on your computer in the morning, you will have messaging. I am sure of it. You will see messaging that is going to say, go and get that book, download it. When you download it, we want you to go ahead and open it up, flip through it, go through the stories. It's not a huge read. It is one of those reads that you could probably do in a couple of days, even a day, really, if you put your mind to it. And you can take in all of this knowledge and wisdom. Just go ahead and read it and give us that review. And I'm going to tell you, all these gentlemen here, they deserve that 5-star review. We want to hear how you felt when you read these stories. Did you see Red when read Lawrence's story? Was he able to help you to woo-saw? When you read Jeffrey's story, was he able to get you, back from the brink of that, no return? And also Jeffrey Edwards here, was he able to help you to get a little more calm, cool, and collected in your day? There's some other authors that are not here today. They also have amazing stories to share as well on just staying calm, cool, and collected throughout the chaos. So everyone, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today, as well as your contribution in the Unsnapped Men's Anthology. Tiff, thank you so much for bringing the scent to life for this book as well. Everyone have an amazing day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.